Test, test, test. Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. I wanted to just have a fireside, if you will, talking about these rent increases and see if you guys could give me an idea, conduct a live study, if you will, of what rents are in your area. I know we have a wide range of viewers, and so that is the purpose of the live chat. If you have a question, put a Q, preceding Q, colon, question. If you want to make a comment, same thing. Put a C, colon, make your comment. But more importantly, if you don't want to have that kind of engagement, just put the state in which you are watching from, and if you're a renter, how much you're actually paying in rent. Based on these numbers that I'm looking at from the month of April, looks like that the median or the average nationwide rent is anywhere between $1,600 and $2,000 a month. And so, from what I'm gathering as far as data is concerned, those numbers are par for the course. It just depends on the size of the home that one is looking at or looking to rent, and obviously the location. So those numbers are showing a slight increase of anywhere between 2 and 4% year over year. So um, yeah, yeah, wanted to know if you guys are seeing the same thing. So again, if you have a comment, go ahead and put it in, or just let me know what you guys are seeing in higher cost cities such as Frisco, San Francisco, New York. Um, I would probably throw some areas in LA, Miami, Austin. You're seeing upwards of $3,500 a month. And so uh, there's a wide range, again, based upon where you are located. So I would say that these numbers are very telling for those of you that may have been on the sideline and are waiting to purchase a home, because as you can see, rent is increasing even with the number of new units that have been brought online in a lot of these markets. And so, why are you still renting if you notice the increase in rent year over year and it's not going in the direction that you want it to? Curious to know about that as well as far as questions are concerned. But there's a lot going on. There's a lot of geopolitical tensions that are affecting all of us in every aspect of life today. And because we're on a real estate channel and I help simplify the home loan process, that's what I want to do today, to give you guys a different point of view, a different perspective to think about when you are trying to make the decision to get off of the rental or out of the rental vehicle and onto the housing ladder. I'll say it that way. And so, in order to do that, you have to have an understanding of where it is that you're looking to buy. You have to understand the amount of inventory that's available. And that could be a very tricky metrics, because there could be a lot of inventory available. But what I say is you need to gauge that by the inventory that you're willing to live in. There's a lot of affordable housing, but not a lot of interest in affordable housing for a lot of reasons. And I'll let you guys use your imagination. So, Texas is one of those states. Texas, Florida, Tennessee, all of the states where folks have been migrating to, again, for a myriad of reasons. But Texas is often picked on because of the higher property taxes. But when you look at the entire picture, and that's something that you guys need to do when you're looking to purchase a home and put down roots somewhere, you have to factor in several other variables based on your gross income, such as state income tax, such as sales tax in the area that you're looking to buy. Um, then property taxes, obviously. And then one other metric or variable that I like to look at is I like to look at the percentage of the population wherever you're looking to move. And we're talking statewide now, but you can do this, get granular and look down to the city level. I think that's sage and wise to do. But if you have a relatively low tax base, but the majority of the adults aren't working, that's probably not the best place to look. And again, this is where a lot of people are, in my opinion, making a mistake uh, with a race to the bottom. Because at the end and beginning of the day, it takes money to run these systems. Are they inefficient? Yes, they are. But roads, schools, police, firefighters, infrastructure in general all take money. And these are the things that people love to gravitate towards when all those things are good. But the money's got to come from somewhere. So when you look at the total picture, back to what I was saying, when you look at the total picture of moving to an area, one should look at more than just property taxes if you're buying a home. Another variable that a lot of people don't weigh in is the insurance. Insurance tells a big story as well because you might be moving into areas that have more natural disasters. And as a result of that, the cost of you buying and renting is more expensive. So when you realize all of these things and look at all of these things, then you can determine and have a better idea of where you should go. Guys, give me a second. Let me see if we're on live. I believe we are. But let's see what the data says. While I'm doing this, not to be rude, let me know where you're watching if you're watching. And if you have a comment, please let us know. Let's see here. I want to start doing more lives. And so I guess there's no time like the present to get your feet wet, to dip the toes into the water. But let's see here. Are we live? Because I just find it hard to believe. Yeah, we live, baby. We live. Or am I? Let's see here. Yeah, it says 7 are watching. So if you guys are watching, if you're still watching, here, let me break the ice. And let me add a comment. Can I add a comment? Let's see here. I'll just say hello. How are you today? How are you today? How are you today? Let's see here. Okay, we got 2 comments there. And I don't see any here on the screen yet, but we'll wait and see if we get any responses back. And the way that works is, you see, we say hello. How are you today? Where are you watching from? Have you noticed an increase in rent from where you are located? That's what I really want to know. And if so, roughly how much? I've run across several people that are telling me they've seen as much as what 20% increase. over the last couple of years when you add them all together. But roughly, you're going to see 3 to 5% increase as far as the rentals are concerned. I know with ours, that's what the property manager is looking to do because, as I tell you guys all the time, it's a business. And when you're looking at it from the other end, a lot of people think that it is predatory and that these landlords are just raking in the monies. But because of what I just aforementioned, um, taxes have to be paid. Here, let me get back in the screen here on the vertical. I'm looking crazy, but the taxes have to be paid. And anytime any capital expenditures are uh, paid for, well, that cost gets passed to you. And so your rent is 100%. It's 100% interest rate because you're not going to get any return. The return you get, you consume it month to month. It's in essence a subscription service. And as long as you're comfortable with that and you know that, well, then it's all good. So you know what? Let's look smart. Let's put on the spectacles. Gonna put on the spectacles and let's look at some of these comments, guys, that you guys are leaving. And shout out to you for leaving comments because we read them. And then I also use them to either make the content that you want to see to help you all simplify the home loan process. So let's look at some of these comments here. Do. And they are as follows. Let's go to the one that talked about where we were talking about the price of rent going up. And you know what? I pretty much answered all these comments. So I'm going to say responded and apply here. Here we go. So here's one. And this is from, well, I won't say the name, but it was an hour ago. And it says rent is continuing to increase. Rent is continuing to increase because the landlord's property taxes and insurance has possibly doubled along with increased charges for repairs that are needed. I agree. Again, anything that's done is going to be passed on to you as a renter. Do we have a comment? Great content. Oh, thank you. Let's put that on the screen here. Appreciate that since we're live. Bobo Anderson, 4052. Great content, bro. Indeed. I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the for letting the brother know. It goes a long way. But this comment that I'm reading, it says the landlord passes it on to his renters. I own a house. My house insurance has more than doubled in the past few years. I pay for the increase. Whether one rents or owns a home, property taxes and insurance will leave one less disposable income. And that is a true statement. Got another comment here. Exactly, Mr. Matthews, TS8PB. Expenses roll downhill. Facts, my brother, facts. Thanks for stopping by. And so you have to understand that as a renter. And again, I may have been a little premature and hesitant, pardon me, in stating that a lot of renters are entitled. But the more I think about it and the more home consultations I do, I don't think a lot of you guys are entitled. I think a lot of renters are just misinformed. And so that's why we want to do these types of videos. Let's see here what Mr. John says. Yep, in Florida, indeed. You know, you could speak to that really well, John, or John Matthews, TS8PB, in that Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, a lot of tornadoes, wind and hail, Florida hurricanes, anywhere on the Gulf Coast there, you have a higher cost of insurance. And if you have a rental property, that insurance goes up, that's going to get passed down. You see what I'm saying? So the only way, in my opinion, is the only way to mitigate those things, in my opinion, is you got to figure out how to get onto the property ladder, one, or two, you have to find a way to increase your earning potential so that you can outpace inflation and these costs. Because as Mr. Matthews said, or Mrs. Matthews said, their cost run downhill. Got another comment here. What is he saying? You're absolutely right. They expect the owners to foot the bill and not be required to absorb that cost. And that just is not going to happen. It's never happened, and it's not going to happen going forward because it's a business. Um, I won't show you, but I just sent some money back to one of my tenants. Um, Ceiling fan went out, and we have a good relationship. And so they put one in, but for sure, I wanted to make sure that they're not going to put in a uh, $1,500 ceiling fan, right? Because if that's what they wanted to do, well, then we have to have a conversation. Because again, I'm running a business. Let's see here. What else we got? Um, they think you owe them a home. Government subsidized house insurance. Facts, man. I agree with you. And you know what? For the ones that aren't subsidized and don't have that mindset, again, what I'm finding is they want very nice places to live in, very nice properties, but they don't want to fit the bill. Uh, let's go back to Bobo here. Bobo Anderson 4052 says, I still rather be an owner. Calling my own shots is worth the investment. I agree as well. And it's to me, Mr. Anderson, it's more than just even calling your own shots. There is more stability, security, and on the back end, if as a homeowner you maintain the property and do what you need to do because of inflation, it's a forced savings account, and it's something that your future self can count on from the standpoint of if you do it right, the home is paid off. All you have to deal with is the taxes and insurance, and then your living expenses, utilities, and things of that nature. And you're not beholden to the increase in costs because costs are just going to continue to go up. It is what it is. And so I agree on those fronts as well. And hey, guys, I appreciate the comments. Thanks for hopping on. This is great. Let's see here. Um, Winnie the Pooh and, or you know what it is. I get these names wrong, but shout out to you. I see a lot in the comments. So a 632 square foot, one bedroom apartment. Let's go back here. Rented for $425 a month is now $1,000 a month in Colorado Springs. And so I don't know what the time frame has been from 425 to that cost where it is now, but that's inflation in full effect. And so nothing stays the same, guys. I don't have hair anymore. I was thinking about going to Turkey and getting some hair, but I don't know if it's that serious, right? Shout out to those that do. Mr. Matthews, my renters just stopped paying because they said I'm gouging them. Put my glasses back on. Let's see here. I'm looking kind of far away. I'm gouging them on the rent because it went up this year and because my insurance tripled this year. Hey man, hopefully you find someone else to go back in the place soon. But I get it. It's a passed on cost. And what I don't get from a lot of renters, again, this is some of them where I feel that they're entitled, that someone has to present or take a risk, not present, but take a risk, invest, even if you pay cash, you still have a cash on cash return. So it's just very arrogant or ignorant when you make a statement that landlords are greedy, because the profit margins, as you well know, all my landlords on here will tell you, are very slim. I mean, you could have some profits and one or two things happen and wipe out 3 or 4 years worth of profit. So I'm not complaining because there's a tax component to it. But renters, I'm on here trying to give you an understanding and an idea. Landlords aren't the devil, nor are they your daddy. So let me catch up here. What's Winnie the Pooh sale? We got that one. Mr. Matthews, we took care of that one. Who's next? Winnie the Pooh. I'm thrilled as hell to have bought my home in 21. Man, you and everybody else, or whoever had one prior to 21, hopefully everybody was able to refinance and catch that once in a lifetime thing. If you did, you can't ever say that you weren't, you didn't get a break in life, because that was just a beautiful thing in 2021, right? And up into mid part of 22. So hopefully you refinance and you don't have to transact anymore. Um, they're giving away free homes in California to the homeless, but the homeless are complaining they're too small. And yeah, man, don't get me started, Mr. Matthews. I'm trying to stay positive. You know, I'm the host, so I don't want to be too negative, but I feel you, man. So anything that you don't have to work for, you're not going to be appreciative of it. So they need to revamp that whole thing. That's crazy. And maybe that's why a lot of folks are leaving California. I don't know. What else are you saying here, Mr. Matthews? It says one other thing here. You guys keep the comments coming. I appreciate it. So by having my homeowner's insurance triple, but only raising tenants' rent by $300, you're absorbing the cost, and they're the ones complaining. Yeah, because they don't see it, man. They don't see it. Once again, when you're a renter, you're greedy. When you're a landlord, you're greedy, I guess. And so that's why these videos help. So I appreciate you sharing the data, because when it's coming from me all the time, it might seem like it's a disingenuine and I'm trying to, sell something to somebody. And if you watch the channel any amount of time, although I am a lender, I'm not a salesman, not a car salesman anyway. I'm here to help folks that want to get onto the property ladder. So you guys keep sharing the information, and maybe those that will hear can hear that, we're still eating a lot of those costs because we just can't raise the rent dollar for dollar to absorb some of the things that happen. California, New York are lost causes. Well, I'll never say that, but as under the current or over the current or the past year, 2, 3, 4, it seems like it's those folks that are running it are, I don't know what they're trying to do, but those are great places, and they always can snap back quickly. Florida, I feel you. Um, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Facts. Let's see here. About 15 years, and I think you're going back to the comment from the 425 to $1,000 in Colorado Springs, and that makes sense, right? And if you think about it, this is what I tell a lot of people, Winnie the Pooh and guys and gals that are watching. After 2008, it took to about 2013 for us to get over that hump. And when I mean hump, clear out all of the inventory that was there when there was a lot of inventory and home prices were down in some areas. But once that happened in 2013, coming forward, builders never built enough homes to keep up with just the natural home formation with the millennial cohort, which is bigger than the baby boomers. So regardless of what you hear on all these channels, these talking heads and stuff, they just talking. There's not enough homes. And in the markets where there is some supply, like always, people are always backwards. Now is the time, if you can afford it, for you to get onto the housing ladder, because you're going to get a lot of incentives, not necessarily in lower prices or the 2019 prices. It's not that way, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And so about 15 years, let's see here. Mr. Matthews, property taxes and homeowners insurance are making possible. Yeah, for some people, man, it is. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if there's a master plan in place, but this is why I tell everybody it's time to live beneath your means if you've not done so. Social media has hurt a lot of people in that, they don't understand. A lot of these folks are are using puffery. I won't say what I want to say, but it's not real. And so you always have to live beneath your means. And then those of us that are business owners, it's cyclical. When it's coming in good, you have to understand we got to put some to the side. You have to invest. You got to protect yourself for when it's the lean times, because now as we're going through the lean times, this is the cleaning out of those that really weren't in the game. And when it comes back, you just have to be able to last the ebbs and flows. But when you're a W-2 employee, you don't have that concept. And that's akin to what you're saying, John, that people have that sense of entitlement. Get a loan instead of paying rent and just burning your money every month if you can find a cosigner. Yeah, there's a lot of loans out here too, man. I've been doing more. We used to call them kitty condo loans for FHA buyers, where a parent could cosign and they're not going to live in the house, right? But they can co-sign and use that income to help the child get into a home with a lower down payment, i.e., closing costs. Well, conventional loans have adopted that as well, and you can do a conventional loan for a qualified family member. I'm seeing it a lot with elders, where children are buying homes for mom or dad because they can't afford it. But it's an investment play. You have a family member that you're subsidizing rent for, and so yeah, there's a lot of folks doing that, if you will. Let's see here. Winnie the Pooh. I raised homeowners deductible. My rate is the same as last year. Our homestead exemption is great. Once we turn 65, property taxes freeze. That's nice. That's nice for you. Those are great tips. Again, if you raise the deductible, obviously you got to be able to have the ability, the discipline to put the money to the side, maybe in a CD, high yield savings account. Preferably nothing ever happens. And that's a way to keep costs down. And then another thing too, guys, if you don't know this, once you find your two, three, four insurance companies, they don't reward for loyalty. So if you have to go back and forth from one to the other, you get that new customer bonus or benefit or what have you, and it almost negates that inflation uh, kicker that they put in every year. And so you might just have to go back and forth between insurance companies, but keep that in mind as well. Ultimately, you have to shop and fend for yourself. Let's see here. We already got that one. I really appreciate the interaction too. So, balling, that is a very, yeah, respectable. Took me until I was 36 to buy a house. Hey, man, you know, the average age for first time home buyers now is like 43. So, there's a lot of variables to that, a lot of student loan debt. I tell you what, these car payments, folks are asleep on these car payments. I'm seeing $800 plus. I saw a $2,100 car payment, and these folks are just regular degulas. And so, a lot of people are shooting themselves in the foot that way because you don't have to buy that kind of vehicle. Trust me. Let's see here. Everyone thinks if you own a property, you're automatically rich and that you can afford it. If I could afford it, I would be living in the house. I got you, man. I got you. Well, that's why you watch the channel, because we don't want to be house rich and cash poor. And yeah, uh, I always lament about buying beneath your means. And it's just like the renting situation, right? John, a lot of people want to live in a certain area, but they don't want to pay for it. Same thing with the house. You got to get in where you fit in, and then you build from there. And so, from Los Angeles, I just moved to Florida 2 years ago. Depending on what part of Florida you moved to and what part of, well, you said Los Angeles, so it should have been, you know, uh, a difference. You should have seen a difference in the income, but maybe not if you move to, Fort Laud or Miami area. It just depends on where you moved. It might have just been a lateral move. Let's see here. Ba ba ba. Yeah, know about a bubble, man. Folks have been talking about a bubble again. There's not enough inventory. There really isn't. And when you look at the major MSAs, metropolitan statistical areas where folks are moving, you might have some inventory there, but we don't even have a 6 month level of inventory yet. And so it's bubble. I really don't see it. The bubble is really in commercial lending, and nobody's really talking about it. And in these car loans and private credit that nobody's really addressing, but I don't think it's in housing. Let's see here. I respect the channel, man, because it's not about, yeah. Now we're not gonna race bait or anger around here. We everyday people, man. We all the same. Just trying to get it right. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. Stay around and we'll continue to do that. So I'm trying to get by. Very refreshing to hear other people are struggling, but there's help. Yeah, man. Hey, we all trying to get to it. I'm in here working. You feel me? And it is what it is. Thank you, man. Back at you. Takes one to know one. Uh, at John Matthews, what are you saying, John? Insurance is a killer now, and property tax. Even though you own the property, you still have to pay taxes on it forever. Yeah, and it's like this, man. If they say we're going to get rid of property taxes, well, income tax, sales tax, I think there needs to be a flat tax, to be honest with you, because a lot of people that um, are able-bodied, they figured out, I could get by, and they have the mindset that I can live here and get subsidized everywhere, and they're using these services as well. I may be wrong, I don't know, but a flat tax could even out the till, if you will, the weights, the scales, where everybody's contributing. But the system is the way it is. If they got rid of property taxes, they're gonna get it somewhere else. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Yep. Got to have a savings. Yep. If you're going to do those high deductibles like you're talking about. So, uh, yes, intelligence, not anger. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got you. Roger that. I've had the same property for 7 years, and my tax and insurance had doubled and tripled. Yeah, I hear you, man. And everything that we're talking about, it's the sign of the times. And you know what? If we lose this reserve currency, um, we're gonna have to tighten up like everybody else has been across the world. So, now's the time to get your mindset and things in order to spend what you have and not leverage based upon the system. You'll be better off for it. He that has the gold makes the rules. And it says, and I have a bachelor's degree in nursing. Wow. It's not the cost of the home, it's the HOA fees, the yearly taxes, and the insurance. Yeah, yeah. A lot of HOA reform out here, but taxes and insurance are where they at and are what they are. And here's the deal, man. If your house is paid for free and clear, think about it this way. Would you self-insure? That's akin to Winnie the Pooh saying that, we've increased the deductibles. In other words, I'm taking the risk and the onus on if something happens, I'm gonna take care of everything myself. So I hear you when you're in it, and I'm not justifying it, but I try to look at it from the big picture of things because if something were to happen, do you have 400 or 500 grand laying around, or depending on where the house is, it could be more. 1350 for the year for homeowners. That's not bad. 471 a year and continue to fall property taxes. There you go. That's what you look at. That's what you're looking at. I found out is renting a high rise condo instead of saving for a home. Uh yeah, yeah. Well, you live and learn, man. You live and learn. Um, House sorted. Okay, let's see here. I think I'm tracking. Shortage. I got you. A house shortage. All right. I was talking back. Yep. 2008 to 13. Let's see here. You know what? Let me put this because that got small on me. It says agreed. I live in Florida, no state tax, but then they jack on your property taxes, homeowners insurance, and then some states have taxes and federal. Yep, yep. So, like I said, they got and they got to get it, man. They got to get it because all these people are here and stuff has to be paid for. So, um, I don't know. I've not really thought of a better example of how to deal with that problem. So sage advice: spend below what you make and use. Yep, yep. You're right, buddy. Yeah, you don't have to have home insurance, but you better be putting away a chunk. Yep, that's true. That's true. That's true. So, and if you have a mortgage, you have to have the homeowner's insurance, unless and even if you don't escrow, if you put the 20% down, or if you have the equity position, you have to have it because the house is yours, but the collateral, right? The debt, the agreement is the lenders, and they want to make sure that they can be made whole. So, man, I really appreciate everybody weighing in. We're 30 minutes in. I'm gonna go ahead and start winding this thing up. Uh, we didn't kind of go directly where I wanted to go, but we got it from more of a homeowner's perspective, and not so much from a renter's perspective. Hold on. We got Vicky Carr 288 here. My home is paid off. Go ahead on. Hold on. I don't have it over here. I hit the bell for you. Ding. Shout out to you, Miss Carr. That's a blessing. But the taxes are steadily rising. Looking to retire in a couple of years. Looking. Yep. Make as much as you can. Well, that's the beauty. And as long as they don't change that rule as far as the capital gains is concerned, if it's your primary residence, lasts what, 2 out of 5 years. If you're single, you can make up to 250K. If you have a spouse, 500K. So, yeah, good to have those options, right? Um, Next subject. Well, I tell you what, the next time we go live, what I want to speak about is what's your opinion on how long a young adult should stay at home with their parents? I want to see what you guys have to say about it. I got one. I'm a girl dad. She can stay as long as she wants to, but there's a time where they got to get out here and get it for themselves. As one of my friends, my little brother, told me, "Hey man, you got to trust the training." So that's going to be the next topic before I get out of here, or the next subject. How long, in your opinion, should an adult child stay at home to prepare themselves to get out in the real world? So you guys think about that. I think we'll try to do that one maybe Sunday. Um, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Yeah, I think that's a good one too, man, because of everything that we just talked about on this live. So thank you to everybody that stopped through. John Matthews, TS8PB. We got Winnie the Pooh. You know, charge it to my head, not my heart. I'm gonna have to look at that last part of your tagline there, and I'll get it the next time. Miss Vicky, was that Vicky here? Who was the last person? Well, yeah, Miss. Let's put her up. Yeah, Miss Vicky Carr 288. House about to be paid off. Shout out to you, and hopefully I didn't miss anybody else. But thank you guys for engaging. Thank you for also engaging in the community, subscribing to the channel, and get ready for the next live. How long should an adult child live at home, in your opinion? You guys be good. We'll talk to you soon. Indeed. You're welcome, man. You're welcome.